Hey everyone, Paige here, energy medicine practitioner and channel. Today I want to talk about the energetics of change and how that's going to be showing up for you right now in this moment that we're in, but also just in general, how that happens on an individual and collective level, and how you can use this to manifest what you want to manifest in your life, create the life that you're hoping to create, and basically just make some really big transformative changes for yourself. So to get started, we are in a moment of a lot of intensity and a lot of people are feeling that. In fact, I'm going to say everyone is feeling that right now. We're moving into a second eclipse, so right between two eclipses. It's a very intense time energetically, and there's a lot of pressure right now. I do like to bring in astrology sometimes. There's a big component of Pluto and Pluto's influence, which brings in a strong push towards transformation, also a dredging up of a lot of old stuff, and issues around power and control and where we have control, where we don't in situations. And what I'm seeing over and over in my clients right now and the people that I work with is that we're all feeling this pressure that situations in our lives are stagnant and need to change, and we aren't able to create the change we want for whatever reason. It's just not happening. It's like everything is just sitting there and nothing's moving. Okay, so that happens, and I'm talking about right now because we're in this moment right now, but this is something that happens, every now and then. So I just want to frame that in that context because this information I'm going to give you isn't just about right now in this moment that we're in. It's just general information that you can use at any time. But this is a very good example, this moment. So what I'm seeing in a lot of my work, which is with, I do energy healing work, but I also do work with frequency and with spirit guides and channelings and bringing through transmissions and whatnot, frequency transmissions. What I'm seeing in that particular work is that when we move into the higher states, so for example, going into meditation and sitting with the guidance and moving into those higher vibrational energies that the guides bring in, when we move into those higher states, the cloudiness, the tension, the stagnation, the stuckness that we're feeling on the physical level is not there. In those higher states, there's a lot of movement, and it's a movement of ease and flow. It's actually a really beautiful place to be. It feels like if you're looking at a really beautiful, mostly clear sky with some wispy clouds, and everything is just kind of floating and moving really easily. That's what that feels like. And if you can move into those higher states, this is one thing you can go ahead and start doing right now, you'll be able to get some insights, some clarity that you're not able to get if you're just staying in the physical, meaning staying in the interactions, the day-to-day, the mundane, all of the sort of things that make up our physical reality. And just for ease of explanation, I'm going to refer to these as the above and the below, because the below is our physical, and a lot of people have different interpretations of that, 3D, 4D, 5D. I don't want to get into that right now. So I'm just going to say the below, the physical, or the above, right? So in those higher states, in the above, there's ease, there's flow, and you can go there. If you'd like some help with that, I've got a number of meditations, channeled meditations here on my YouTube channel. You can check those out. Most of those are frequency transmissions as well, so you can move into those higher states and then explore that experience for yourself. So now moving into the energetics of change and how that's expressing and what I'm really seeing standing out right now that I think is important. So when I work with individuals, which I do every day, I spend a lot of time working on undoing complex patterning in the system, and I do a lot of work with subtle energies. And subtle energies and soul level issues are where we have our source energy, the energy of our essence, the energy that comes in with us, that carries the intention of our lifetime, and then that has to move down into the physical or the lower levels to manifest as a person, as a physical body, as a personality, to create an identity, to engage in a physical life. So when we have these big changes, they start on the level of the subtle energy. They start at those higher levels and then trickle down. So I'm going to give you an example. I was working with someone yesterday, and she is in a moment of moving into a higher expression of herself, of who she is in this life. And part of that is that she's resolved a lot of the things that she came in to learn, to grow from, maybe karmic issues or other things that she was going to address in this lifetime. She's already resolved. She's ready to move past it and into something else. And at this moment, we're being pushed higher, right? There's a real push to expansions of consciousness. I've been talking about this also in my other videos. And so she's also moving higher, moving into an expanded state, a higher state, a higher expression. And as this is happening, I will say it is a very uncomfortable process, and a lot of you may be feeling this as well right now. Again, that Pluto influence is pushing the transformation, it's dredging up all the old stuff. What's happening is, this is just how it's playing out in one session, and this is one, let's say, iteration of this, is that as she's undoing, as the structures in the energy system are shifting and changing, there's a lot of discomfort in that, because we're moving out of what felt normal, what felt comfortable, even on the inside. So this is where it can be really hard to put your finger on what's going on and what you're feeling, but there is a lot of pressure and shift and change in the energetics of how we carry ourselves. So there's actually, for her, there was kind of a peeling away of a lot of the old stuff and aspects of how she has expressed things that were important, values, etc., are peeling away and are going to move away. And some other shifts and changes are happening in the system simultaneously. And at the same time, on the higher level, we're working with systems like the nadis. If you're familiar with energy, that's the higher aspect of the nervous system. Those are energies that are subtle energies, and they connect to that higher aspect of the self. When we have a change on those higher levels, it then is transferred down into the the denser energies, the electromagnetic and electrical energies of the body, the energies that are more associated with our physical manifestation of who we are, how we show up in the world. So those changes are happening on that higher level and then moving down and settling into new patterns in the body. So I just gave you a lot of information. I hope that's not too much to take in. For some of you, anyone who works with energy, this is probably making some sense at least. For those of you who don't work with energy, and if energy is totally new to you, it may all sound like Greek. Just take it in, take what you can. Now, taking this to another level, that's talking about, the individual and what's happening with people on an individual basis. But if we take this to the level of the collective, this is a really important piece. What's really standing out to me right now, as I'm seeing the difference in the above and below and how things are really flowing on this higher level, what's really standing out is that this is the process that we're in as a collective as well. That on this higher level, these higher realms, higher planes, we could say, there's movement, there's flow, there's ease. And it's a reconfiguration. And it's not exact. It's not this thing's moving into that and there's an equation and A plus B equals C. And it never works that way energetically, right? We want things to function that way, but they don't. Things shift and change and move in spatial ways and take new forms. As they do, and as the tension and stagnation that we're feeling in our physical reality, this lower level starts to move out, those higher aspects are going to begin to settle into new patterns for us here that we should begin to feel in the collective experience, within the field of humanity, that collective consciousness that we're all connected to. That means that our societies will begin to look different, feel different, function differently. And again, this is all an energetic shift that's happening from the higher aspect and we'll move down into the denser energies of our physical lives. So what does all of that mean for you? Well, first of all, just take it in for a minute and think about that, and think about how you can put yourself into higher states more often and take advantage of that space to envision what you want for your life, to really create it in a felt way, really make it, bring it to life in every way that you can, with the visuals, with the felt sensations, smells, sounds, anything at all that really brings it to life. Colors are great. And then infuse it with intention, infuse it with those higher energies, connect to something higher and infuse your vision with that higher energy. Again, this is all working at the higher level, those above levels. And trust that as we are slowly kind of gliding into our new states down here on the physical, the lower level, that those impressions that have been made, those imprints in the higher aspect, are going to settle down and become the new patterns in your life, the new patterns at this level. Now, you do want to always connect with them. So you're going to carry that connection. You're not just going to kind of put it out there and then go about your life and forget about it. Oh, that might work. I'm not saying it won't, who knows? But my recommendation is that you do kind of bring it back, stay connected with it. Remind yourself of it, bring it to life. Maybe as you're going to sleep at night, think about it, or bring it in other times, bring it in other meditations. Kind of keep taking yourself back there. You're reinforcing the patterning every time you do that. And I know this is hard to conceptualize if you're not familiar with energy, because it's all invisible, it's around us. Some people feel it, some people just don't. But there is this patterning that forms it forms our lives, really. And the more you work with that on the subtle level, you can really change, reshape, shift, and change your life. So feel free to put any comments and questions below. I hope that made sense, and I will put some links in below, some other things that you can check out. And again, if you have questions, just put them in there and I will absolutely get back to you. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.